Hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to take a quick look at the second weapon you can get from the elite version of Sanctuary Onslaught, the Lato Vandal, which, just like the Lato Vandal, was only available during a very short time period like 5 years ago. Now, as I mentioned already, the way to get this weapon is by playing the elite version of Sanctuary Onslaught. You can get the receiver as a reward from rotation A, the blueprint as a reward from rotation B, and finally the barrel as a reward from rotation C. All three of the parts are extremely rare, with the receiver and blueprint only having a 2.01% chance to drop and the barrel having a 2.46% chance to drop. So it will most likely take you quite a few runs to get all three parts. But once you finally put it all together, you will get a semi-automatic Mastery Rank 7 pistol that does 46 damage with each shot, 27.6 is slash, 11.5 is puncture and 6.9 is impact. It fires up to 5 rounds per second without any fire rate mods. It has 15 rounds in the mag with 210 rounds in total and 1 second reload. It has a very decent 26% crit chance, and above average 2.4 times crit multiplier and somewhat low 10% status chance. It also comes with 1 V polarity as standard, which is always nice. Now, what this means is that the Vandal version of the Lato is first of all a massive and absolutely gargantuous upgrade over the standard Lato, and it's somewhat of a side grade to Lato Prime, which doesn't really matter because not a lot of people have it. Now, before I show you my actual build that I'm using on the weapon, I just want to highlight how well the weapon performs even without any investment. This is a zero Forma build that I just slapped on, and I was so impressed with the performance I actually took it in the simulacrum and recorded this clip so I can show you that the weapon performs really well even without any investment. This is the setup I was running. It's missing a mod and it still kills level 80 heavy gunners pretty fast. Now, since I'm still really burnt out on Forma, I went for a little 2 Forma Bubby build where I've added 2 Vs. If, however, you want to push for the stronger big boy build, simply replace Pistol Gambit and Target Cracker with their primed versions. And the mods I'm using are Hornet Strike for damage, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, Lethal Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot, Pistol Gambit for crit chance, Target Cracker for crit damage, then Scorch for heat damage and status chance, and Pistol Pestilence with Jolt for corrosive damage and even more status chance. And I went for a hybrid build instead of just a pure crit build because of the stats on the weapon. It has a really fast fire rate, it has a decently sized magazine and really fast reload time. So it can actually proc a decent amount of status even though it is a single shot weapon. And I ended up choosing the corrosive and heat elements because I wanted to use 3 dual stat mods to kind of boost the somewhat low status chance. But if you'd rather use viral and focus on slash procs, you can do that as well. The majority of the build is the same. The changes here are that we're using Pistol Gambit and Hydraulic Crosshairs for more frequent crits, and we're using Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence, which will combine into viral damage. This setup will be a lot stronger for you, especially versus higher level Grineer, because not only are you going to cut their health in half with viral, you will also get a lot of slash procs which will bypass their armor. I personally didn't want to use this because if I'm going up against high level Grineer, I'm going to be using something with a little bit more boom. Alright, back to the corrosive. It is not the best thing versus the infested, even though it does a ton of damage, but that's just because of the way it works. It's a single shot weapon and the infested are a horde faction, so they will most likely overwhelm you. And it struggles a little bit versus the Corpus, but only if you're fighting high level, high tier Corpus and you're still using corrosive and heat. You would ideally want to swap your element to combos for them. It's kind of funny, this weapon is the exact opposite of the Lato Vandal for me. I was really looking forward to picking up the Lato Vandal and it ended up being a massive disappointment for me, and I was somewhat indifferent about the Lato Vandal and I ended up liking it an awful lot. The reason I was somewhat indifferent towards the Lato Vandal is because I remember hating the original Lato 5 years ago and replacing it as soon as I could. This is a very solid pistol that will take you through the entire star chart and the majority of sorties on just a 2 Forma build without any primed mods. If you then decide to invest a little bit more Forma into it and you add the primed mods, it's going to be really strong, and if by any chance you have a Riven for the Lato, you're going to like this one because just like the standard Lato and Lato Prime, it has perfect Riven disposition, so the Rivens you can roll for this are utterly ridiculous. And I thoroughly believe that if you get yourself a well-rolled Riven for the Lato Vandal, you can just go and hunt Eidolons with it. Though if you do want to try that, go with a full-on crit build since the Eidolons are immune to status. The only downside of this weapon is the method of acquisition, because if you don't get lucky and you don't get all the parts in just a couple of runs, you are going to grind your bloody bollocks off doing Sanctuary Onslaught. But other than that, it's really good. I like it, so it gets a big thumbs up. And I think I've been rambling for long enough, so I thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.